Hi, everybody. I'm Dr. Duc Vuong, world famous bariatric surgeon. But you knew that. Here's my med school diploma. I'm an MD. And tonight I want to show you my surgery diploma right there, Dr. Vuong, general surgery. I finished residency in '05. I did retire, though. I retired a couple of years ago. Oxford vaccine, the AstraZeneca. People can't say AstraZeneca, so everyone's calling it the Oxford vaccine. But it's made in conjunction with Oxford University. And so it's cool. It's an international vaccine. And I want to talk about why I think it will be the coronavirus killer. Okay. And it's purely numbers. We're going to talk purely numbers. Yeah. And some people are like, but Dr. Vuong, it's got like lower efficacy. It's like 70% compared to 95%. It can't. Why is it going to be this layer? That's the mystery. That's what I'm going to talk about because I want to cut through the bullshit. Let's cut through the bullshit. All right. A lot of talk has been about the vaccine. So let's talk about what exactly is this Oxford vaccine. Okay. So I'm going to type for you here. Number one, Oxford vaccine is old. All right. Here's something that's going to surprise a lot of people. Did you know? Okay, put a no in the comment section if you did not know this fact. Be honest. The Oxford vaccine against the coronavirus actually isn't about the coronavirus. The Oxford vaccine is actually targeted against the adenovirus. Put a no in the comments section if you didn't know that, if you're surprised to hear that. So it actually doesn't target coronavirus. It does indirectly. So it's actually adenovirus line that was actually isolated from the poop of chimpanzees. Weird. And then modified in the lab so it doesn't cause flu-like symptoms. Okay, that's good. So they made it ineffective. And then somehow, I don't know the exact science, to be perfectly clear. I don't know the exact science, but this does target that coronavirus spike protein, but it is not a specific coronavirus RNA or capsid or anything like that, right? Yep, Doug, I promise you, brother. It is from monkey poop. Okay, so it causes a reaction to the coronavirus spike protein, which is what the other two vaccines also do, the Moderna and the Pfizer vaccine. Okay. But because it's old technology, it has lots of benefits. So let's talk about why I think that it's going to be, the coronavirus killer. Okay. So the first thing is the obvious thing. Okay. A lot of people are going to look at the headlines and say, oh my God, the Oxford vaccine is only 70% effective. It's not as good. It's not as good. Listen, it is effective. It is really, really good. Okay. I want to remind you guys, one, it's early, but I want to remind you guys that according to the CDC, the guidelines is that a vaccine, who knows the number, has to be only blank percent effective. Who knows the number? You're going to be shocked to know, okay? The CDC only requires, the FDA only requires that a vaccination be 50% effective to be approved. Put a 1 in the comment section if you are shocked to know that 50% effective. Oh, listen, look at this. See, you guys are totally my followers. Look at that. You guys knew all this answer, right? Wow. Look at that. Maybe I'm making a difference, baby. That's awesome. That's good to know. So in fact, the flu vaccine, the annual, every year you get the flu vaccine, it's about 50 to 60% effective. So the FDA would approve any vaccine that is 50% effective. Okay. Some people didn't know that. One means you didn't know that. Okay. All right. Now, so the fact that this is 70% effective, if you read the headlines, then you might think that it's not as good as the other vaccines. Well, so something kind of puzzling happens is like this test, this virus, this clinical trial, they use 2 dosing regimens. And I want to show you this number. This is the more important one, 90%. So this is a 2-dose vaccine, and in one arm, in one population set, they gave 2 full doses, and then they said, "Well, let's try it this other way." So the lower dose way was the first shot was half a dose, and then the second shot was a full dose. And what they found that was surprising is this. In the lower dose regimen, it was 90% effective. So a lot more effective. It's kind of bizarre. They're not really sure why. Well, this could be due to the fact that there are fewer patients in the lower dose arm. This is 11,000 patients all over the world. And they are still ongoing trials, right? All over the world. But in the normal regular dosing, it had a roughly 8,200 patients. And in the lower dose, it was roughly 2,800 patients. So a fewer patients. Now, statistically speaking, if you got more people in the lower dose regimen, it could drop that percentage from 90% down to 70%. It's within that realm. So statistically speaking, we might not have enough patients enrolled to really tease out the final data. But it is an interesting curiosity that the lower dose seems to be 90% effective versus 70. But most of these numbers from Moderna, from Pfizer, the 94, 95%, those numbers will probably come down a little bit. The more exposure we have, the less like people, once you get vaccinated, people are going to start acting stupid again. It's not wear masks, social distance, etc. That's the goal, but they'll do it prematurely. So it will fluctuate. The effectiveness rate will fluctuate. I think the Moderna and Pfizer ones will come down. I think the Oxford one will go up to about 70, 75%, which is still fantastic for what we believe is going to have to be a repeated vaccination. Now, is it annual? Is it every 6 months? We don't freaking know, but I don't think it's going to be like a polio vaccine where you're one and done. I think it's probably going to be every few years you're going to need a coronavirus vaccination. Seriously. But we just have to see. We just have to wait and see. Okay. So that's an interesting thing. All right. Now, why is it going to be the Slayer? Okay. So there are some advantages with this. Some of the praise that we got from Pfizer and the Moderna vaccine was it used a new technology where they would take they elicited the immune response using messenger RNA, which is interesting because messenger RNA is still a blueprint. It's not the actual protein. It's not the virus. And it was able to transcribe the messenger RNA and elicit this immune response to the spike protein for coronavirus. But with this is old technology. This is super important. It's old technology. We use it for the other vaccinations, flu vaccine, etc. It's an attenuated virus, and it elicits immune response to the C protein, right? The coronavirus spike protein. Okay, so it's old technology. Now, what does this mean? This is important. Okay, so this can be. Okay, why this vaccine is going to be super important. It doesn't have to be kept super cold. It doesn't have to be kept super cold like the Pfizer vaccine, minus 70 degrees. I mean, you can have it kept at normal refrigeration temperatures, which every pharmacy has, doctor's office has, hospital has. It doesn't require new equipment. The Pfizer vaccine, they were ramping up to like ship. They're running out of dry ice. I mean, if you own a dry ice company, can you message me? I want you to be my personal friend because I want to be the first one on your yacht because you're about to bank. If you own a dry ice company, you are in high demand right now. So it's just a part of the technology that these vaccines have to be kept at a colder temperature. But with this older technology, this Oxford vaccine can be refrigerated at normal temperatures. This is super important, and we'll talk about why. So the infrastructure is there. This is huge. If you actually think about it, Dr. Vuong, what's the big deal? Minus 70. Well, even if you ship it with the dry ice, you got to get it hanging in an airport for 3 or 4 hours, or you can't leave it overnight. You've got to make sure it's back on the plane, going to its final destination. If it gets to its final destination, it's got to make it to CVS or pharmacy or distribution center or somewhere fast. I mean, the clock is ticking, right? And the last thing we want to give you guys is, the last thing I want to fucking take is a vaccine that is not effective because it lost, it stayed in the hangar too long. So it's a logistics nightmare. So even from shipping from the warehouse or the distributor to the doctor's offices, oh, I don't have it. This hospital system, oh, you delivered to the wrong hospital. Our main hospital downtown is the one that has the refrigeration system, not this one, not the outlying clinic. And you're also talking about sending patients. Maybe you have patients living in the suburbs. Now they're going to have to drive into the downtown area, the cities, find parking, et cetera, to get this vaccination. You're going to have to set up. It's going to be tougher to set up like drive-through mobile fast dispensary vaccination lines because of the temperature. You get the idea. It's an infrastructure nightmare. So because this Oxford can be held at normal temperatures, it's going to make delivery, distribution much, much simpler. That's huge. Why is that huge? So again, old technology, number 7. The company has announced that they can do this. The next 6 weeks, number 7 is always the bitch. Number 7 is always the tip that gets y'all. The company announced that they can have 200 million doses ready by the end of 2020. This is huge. And remember, each person has to get 2 doses. So that's 100 million people. That is 4 times as many as Moderna. Moderna says, they can have 50 million doses. That means 25 million people are going to get vaccinated. They don't have to be kept as cold as the Pfizer. I think Pfizer was 40 million doses. That means 20 million people. Dude, that's nowhere near where we need to get to herd immunity. Remember, Dr. V, we did the math, 350 million people times 70, right? 220 million doses. And those are just Americans to get American herd immunity, right? So AstraZeneca has said that they can make 200 million doses by the end of 2020. So they're going to get to like that massive number. Production is key. You got to produce enough of it, guys. And by 2021, they're talking 100 million doses a month. They're talking billions of doses for 2021. That's how we're going to get through this. All right. Are you guys starting to see my logic? Are you guys starting to understand why this Oxford AstraZeneca vaccine is going to be the coronavirus killer? I'm super excited by it. And that's why it doesn't matter about the 70%. It's lower, it's less effective. It doesn't matter. You're going to overwhelm it through production and supply chain, et cetera. But number 8 is the coronavirus killer. Okay. Number 8. So because this is new, this is old technology, because they hadn't have to create new stuff, they are talking $3 to $4 a dose. 3 or 4 US dollars a dose, guys, not hundreds of dollars. This is right here. Screenshot this. Blink, screenshot. Someone do that for me so I can like post it. Like $3 to $4 a dose is what's going to be needed to get this vaccine to the poor countries, to Africa, to remote regions, to even the poorer parts of the United States. I mean, I don't want to blame. I mean, there are very, very poor areas in the United States. So much poorer communities. Now you're talking about outreach. Now this is possible for churches and outreach and free clinics and community clinics. When I was in residency, we had a free surgery clinic that we had clinic in once a week, like on Mondays, where we saw patients. And the hospital, my training hospital, donated the surgeries to the patients. They didn't pay anything, right? So now you have these outreach clinics that are going to be able to, dude, $3 to $4 a dose versus $200 or $300 a dose. Yes, it is going to be. This is the killer right here. Was the pricing? It's going to work. And even if you live in a socialized system, Jillian, like you can't bankrupt the system. Does that make sense what I'm saying? So I love the new technology. I love the science, but the reason why this vaccine is going to be the killer, the coronavirus killer, is because the infrastructure is already in place. You don't have to figure out logistics, dry ice. You don't have to refrigeration system. You don't have to worry about it going bad on you if just people don't show up. So doctors already have the distribution. 2, they can make a lot of it. They can make hundreds of millions of doses per month. And then number 3, the nail in the coffin, bitches. The nail in the coffin. $3 to $4 a dose, right? And this is the shit that the news isn't telling y'all. This is, you guys are surprised. Comment if you're surprised at the 3 things I've told y'all, because that's not what they're saying. That's not what they're telling you, or you haven't heard it or whatever, right? So CJ Russell, that's amazing. Makes so much sense, right? Light at the end of the tunnel. So which takes me to Mammy's point here. Now, if we can only get everyone on board, which is number 9. Number 9. It's not vaccines don't save lives. Listen to me. Vaccines don't save lives. What the fuck are you talking about, Dr. Vuong? Of course it saves lives. No, it does not. Vaccines don't save lives. Vaccinations saves lives. Bad grammar. Vaccinations save lives. Okay? Just remember that. We have to convince people to take the vaccine. Dr. Vuong, are you going to take it? Well, I'm 48. I'm relatively young, and I don't have any medical issues. My BMI is 21. I'm 22. I gained a little bit during coronavirus. I gained a few pounds. So I'm not in a rush to take it. And I'm also retired. So we need to save it for our healthcare workers. We need to save it for our people that are higher risk, the elderly, the working people who might have comorbidities. But for myself, I'm healthy. I'm going to wait. It has really nothing to do with do you trust it, whatever. It's going to go through its process. Okay. And we'll see. Okay. That's awesome. What do you guys think? Excited? Are you excited about the Oxford vaccine now? The AstraZeneca? It's more than just numbers, guys. It's more than just like, oh, it's 94%. It's only 70%. Like this, dude, there's so much more to vaccinations than that. And the last one being key, vaccinations saves lives. So we have to convince the public to take it. Now, part of the problem is in America, we've totally politicized this whole thing. Operation Warp Speed, we're pushing it through. It's not safe. So a Gallup poll early on said 50%, 50% of Americans would not take the vaccine, or you say 50% would take the vaccine. All right. Now they repeated it. Now it's up to 58%. 58% would take it. That's still, I mean, it's still not great, man. We need a lot more people to take it. Now, some dire numbers, some dire warnings. Okay. We will probably, in America, I mean, we're at 257,000 deaths. We will probably hit 300,000 deaths by the end of the year. And we're talking 25 million cases here by inauguration, January. We're going to double our numbers. We're almost to 13 million cases in the United States alone. So that's really crazy to think, right? So what I want you to do is what am I on, number 9? This is important. Please hang around for this, and please hit the share button or the like button or the follow or share this for somebody, okay? This last tip is super important. Because I know people are doing this, and we can't do it because we think that the vaccine is right around the corner. I'm tired of it. I've got fatigue. I've been doing it for 7 months. Nobody I know has died. The people that I do know have recovered. Why are we shutting down? People are losing their lives. All these arguments, and I'm here to tell you, like, I get it, but I want to get through this too. And the only way we get through this is to not let your guard down. Great news about the vaccines. They're rolling out more testing. They're making rapid tests available, which I'm going to show you here in a second, and all that sort of stuff. But, the answer is you still have to wear your mask, social distance, be smart. I'm going to say right now, as a public service announcement, do not gather outside of your family for Thanksgiving. And by family, I mean those people you hate who are living underneath your roof. Seriously, man. Like those people who irritate you at dinner every night, somehow here in 2 days on Thanksgiving night, somehow that's going to change, and you guys are all going to be grateful, even though the other 364 days, y'all took 5 minutes to eat, said 2 words to each other, got up and walked off, and you're like, who's doing the dishes? Right? Amen. Don't let your guard down. Do a Zoom Thanksgiving, social distancing Thanksgiving, because we got to get through this. If you don't do a smart social Thanksgiving, like don't have a gathering this Thanksgiving, then you're going to have an ICU Christmas. And that's not good. Our Christmas numbers are going to depend on what's happening with Thanksgiving, and already with the travel numbers out from the airlines, it's not going to be a good Christmas. We are not anywhere near this. But Dr. Vuong, the vaccine's coming out. Well, once you take it, which you're not going to take for a while, you have to have 2 doses, 3 weeks apart. So let's say the first doses, if you're lucky, if you're the first nurse on the planet to get the first vaccine on December 10th, December 15th, right, middle of December. Then 3 weeks later, you got to get a second dose, which now takes you to the first week, start of the second week of January. Then you have to wait for a month, right? So now you're talking Valentine's Day. So the first people who will get the vaccine in mid-December will not actually have immunity until Valentine's Day. And it won't be widely available until this summer. So seriously, this summer, which means you're talking about the fall before we have real immunity to this virus. And people are going to rush it. I'm telling you, and not the vaccine. People are going to rush like jumping out, having parties. It's Mother's Day. It's Easter. Aren't we done with this? I'm so through with this. Like, listen, don't be dumb. Okay. Don't let your guard down. All right. Thank you guys very much for watching. I'm Dr. Duc Vuong. I'll be back tomorrow night talking some more coronavirus stuff. And I hope you enjoy it. Please hit share if you like this. And as always, I will edit this video down, put it on my YouTube channel, so it'll be much shorter format, just the nuts and bolts. And as a reminder, prayers and wishes to our nurses and doctors and healthcare workers, even the lab techs, the front desk girl or guy, the staff person who's there in the hospital, the testing people, our first responders. We have to pick your sorry ass up and take you to the hospital. And, police officers, firefighters, ambulance drivers, EMTs, paramedics, all of them. Prayers to them. They're putting themselves at risk and to keep us safe. And remember, they're not the front line. We got that backwards. And I've been saying this for months. They're not the front line. They're the back line. So who's the front line? Hashtag, we are the front line. You, me, we, how we behave. We are the front line. And we have to defend them, because a lot of you guys are nurses, paramedics. A lot of you guys are married to them. A lot of them, you are mothers and fathers of nurses and doctors. And you understand what I'm trying to say, which is like, we have to be the shield for them. They're the back line. They're the defense. We are the offense against this pandemic. So hope you enjoyed it.